I just wanted to thank everybody and say that I did it.
I'd like to give a huge shout out to my parents. They've supported me throughout my whole life and helped me pursue my dreams. I'd like to also give a huge shout out to the chemical engineering department, the engineering learning community, and all those folks in Goddard Hall for all the support they've given me as well. My college experience wouldn't be the same without them. Thank you.
First, I'd like to say thank you to the faculty and staff at New Mexico State for all your help. To my employer and coworkers, thank you for encouraging me and helping me with my homework. Thank you to my family and friends for cheering me on. And finally, to my best friend, my partner in crime, my fiance, John. Thank you for being by my side on this journey and encouraging me every step of the way. We did it.
Hello everyone, I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. I'd like to thank God for helping me achieve this huge milestone in my life. I'd also like to thank my family, my girlfriend, and my friends for all the love and support they've provided me. None of this would be possible without them.
I would like to thank my family for supporting me through this time. It has been challenging, but I couldn't have done this without them. Shout out to all my professors who have helped me in completing my bachelor's in engineering. It has been an adventure, but I did it.
Hola, muchísimas gracias por estar presentes. Me gustaría agradecerles especialmente a mi familia, a mis padres, a mis abuelos, a mis tíos, a mis hermanos, a mi prima Frida, que todo esto se lo debo a ustedes.
I just wanted to thank my parents for supporting me all these years, my sister for always being there when I needed them, the rest of my family and friends for believing in me even in the times when I didn't, and finally to all of my professors for transmitting me their knowledge and values. Gracias a todos.
Thanks to my family and friends for their constant support. Thanks to my professors for their constant teachings, and thanks to God for always being with me. Thanks to everyone.
Big thank you to everyone that was next to me in my undergraduate career. Thank you so much to my family, to my friends, and to staff and faculty from NMSU. You guys made the college experience so much better than I ever expected. Thank you so much.
Quiero agradecer a mi familia y a mis profesores por hacer esto posible, con un especial agradecimiento a mi madre. No hubiera sido posible sin ti.
First and foremost, I would like to thank my family, as well as my Aggies Without Limits family, along with my professors. To all of you, thank you for pushing me to always do better and for believing in my success.
First, I want to thank God for all the provisions and blessings. Thank you, Mom, Dad, and sister, and to my whole family for your enormous sacrifice and support along the challenging journey. Thanks to all my professors, especially to Dr. Jauregui. Thanks to my adventure family and my friends around the world. Muchas gracias.
I want to thank the URS program, Dr. Abulkifi and Ryan Salazar, for giving me the opportunity to do research. Also my parents, family, and friends for all their support and for always reminding me that I can achieve more.
To the class of 2020, I want to thank my family, friends, and faculty for all the love and support they gave me these past 4 years. None of this would have been possible without you. As well, I'm proud to announce I will continue my education as an Aggie at the University of California, Davis.
I just want to say thank you to all of the people that is involved in this accomplishment of my life, especially to my parents, who are the ones that support me and made this possible.
I want to thank my family and friends and my professors for helping me along the way these last 3 years since I've been in Las Cruces. Thank you guys very much.
I want to give a shout out to all my friends and family, and I want to thank my mother for always being there and helping me every step of the way in my college career. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lakshmi and Reddi, and I'm the Dean of the College of Engineering. I know there are some people who are still joining us as we speak, but we will go ahead and get started with the program. First and foremost, I hope all of you are staying safe and healthy during this crisis. And second, I want to welcome you all to this Order of the Engineer and Sociedad ceremony, which is quite frankly one event that we look forward to throughout the semester. This is a very happy event for us to see our students graduate. This is a very proud moment for our faculty, our staff, our leadership team. In fact, I'm so happy today that I get to wear a tie and a jacket after about 2 or 3 months. So let us celebrate. For the next 1 hour and 1.5 hours, we are going to recognize some of the outstanding seniors, some of the accomplishments of our finest graduates that are now leaving NMSU to join the workforce. Now, very soon, graduates, you will be joining the ranks of presidents, vice presidents of some of the impactful companies in this country and in the world. And if our distinguished lecturer today, our commencement speaker, wouldn't find fault with me, some of you might become the presidents and vice presidents of such companies as Northrop Grumman. So Chris, watch out. And if our previous alumni records or any indication, some of you will be the presidents and vice presidents of Boeing. Some of you will even get Oscar awards. And you might even become the chancellor of a land-grant university. So you will now be joining those ranks, and you will be the leaders of engineering workforce in the country and in the world. And we are very, very proud of you. At NMSU Engineering, we always are proud that we are student-centered. Our faculty and staff get down right to each and every student and make sure each one of them is successful. And perhaps it's not surprising that we are ranked at number 12 as the best value engineering college in the country. What that really means is what you are now given is going to put you on par with some of the best and the brightest in the country. We have every confidence in you that you'll be successful future engineering leaders. And we really want you to stay connected with the NMSU family of faculty and staff and administrators who will be here, very willing and anxious to receive you in future when you come back and visit us. And perhaps one of you may come back as the future chancellor of NMSU. So we look forward to listening to your accomplishments, getting to know you. And as sorry as we are to see you leave, particularly in a context like this online, without having the pleasure of celebrating face-to-face, we wish you luck. We're also very, very happy that you completed this. And I want to thank on behalf of all our faculty and staff, your families and your supporters for putting up with us, particularly during the last semester when we have to change our delivery mode, our course delivery modes. So thank you all for that. Our faculty were forced to take some sudden paradigm shifts, and it's not easy, neither for faculty nor for you to adjust to this new rhythm, but you did it. So I want to congratulate you, and I want to thank you all for putting up with us. And I want to congratulate our faculty and staff and our leadership team for seeing you through to this finish line. And as a last point on my notes here, I want to thank all the faculty and staff and all the administrators, particularly the administrative staff, who worked behind the scenes to make sure that you graduate this semester under some unusual circumstances. There are countless number of people, and I'm always afraid to name them, but I will name a few. Nora, Associate Dean Antonio Garcia, and our Chief of Staff, Linda Frescas, and Vladimir, and countless others who have really contributed to this program. So I want to thank, on behalf of all of us, I want to thank these individuals for making this happen and for giving us this very fine day to celebrate. So without taking any more time, I now want to go ahead, move on with the program. What you can expect is about an hour or an hour and a half of celebrations and of recognizing some of the outstanding seniors that we have and recognizing each and every graduate and some history on the Sociedad, on the Order of the Engineer ceremony. And we have an outstanding commencement speaker who is very busy and who took some time off from his busy schedule to be with us this afternoon. So without any further delay, let me introduce our Associate Dean of Academics, Dr. Antonio Garcia, and I want him to read the history of the Sociedad de Ingenieros and the Order of the Engineer. Tony?
Thank you, Dean Reddi, and good afternoon, graduates, friends, and family. So I'll start off by reading the history of the Sociedad de Ingenieros. The Sociedad de Ingenieros was established on the campus of New Mexico State University on December 12, 1989, by deans and department heads of the College of Engineering. The society is dedicated to each graduating class of engineers in anticipation of the future contributions they will make to society while practicing their profession. The society is named after the word ingenium, meaning innate or natural capacity and genius in Latin, which is the origin of Romance languages. In countries where the Romance languages are spoken, the title of engineer bears great honor, and engineers are highly respected for the academic rigor required to obtain a degree in engineering and the achievements of engineers that affect the world. At each ceremony, Eminente members are inducted into the society. These recipients have distinguished themselves in the field of engineering and serve as role models for new graduates. So now I'll read the history of the Order of the Engineer, and you'll be receiving in the mail a ring. So I'll explain what that ring signifies. In 1926, the ritual of the calling of an engineer was initiated in Canada, which includes placing a wrought iron ring on the small finger of the working hand. In the United States, the ceremony is known as the Order of the Engineer. The ceremony presents an opportunity for you to take a pledge and recall that the professional purpose of engineering involves the pursuit of a learned art in the spirit of public service. The obligation of the Order of the Engineer is the formal statement of an engineer's responsibilities to the public and to the profession while promoting honesty and integrity. Initiates, as they voluntarily accept, pledge to uphold the standards and dignity of the engineering profession and to serve humanity by making the best use of Earth's precious and limited resources. Your membership in the order is symbolized by the acceptance of an obligation and the wearing of the stainless steel ring on the little finger of the working hand. Wear it with pride in and dedication to our profession. So over to you, Dean Reddi.
Well, thank you very much, Tony. That's a wonderful history. I now want to recognize some of the outstanding graduates who are leaving with this graduation, leaving us and proudly representing NMSU. I will start with the recognition of the highest honors in the college. That goes this year to Dominic Anthony Cordova, who was also recognized this morning during the Honors College convocation. If I may ask you to hold your applause, because we will have an opportunity after I'm done with all the recognitions. So back to Dominic Anthony Cordova, he has the highest GPA for the most student credit hours, a major in mechanical engineering with a minor, and get this, in philosophy. Works as webmaster and computer technician at Honors College, and volunteers at church playing piano on Sundays and giving retreats to teenagers across southern New Mexico. He's a National Hispanic Scholar in 2015, Conroy Scholar, Crimson Scholar, Golden Key member, and Dean's List recipient his entire time at NMSU. He will attend Franciscan University of Steubenville for MS in philosophy and before starting his engineering career. As I mentioned earlier, and perhaps our graduates are actually beating the alumni because they are holding some of the highest positions possible while doing their degrees. Now you will see such level of accomplishments as I read the recognition of the College of Engineering outstanding graduate and the outstanding seniors for each of our departments. Let me now recognize the College of Engineering outstanding graduate who belongs to the Electrical and Computer Engineering department. He's also the outstanding senior from that department. His name is Andrew James Phillips. He's receiving a BS in Electrical Engineering and Computer Science with 4.0 GPA. He has already published 2 articles in International Telemetering Conference proceedings, winning first place undergraduate paper in 2018. He works as an Aggie innovator in the Aggie innovation space, 2019 president and 2018 vice president, Tau Beta Pi Engineering Honor Society. He will pursue fully funded Ph.D. in electrical engineering at Stanford University this fall. So maybe we'll have another Stanford graduate coming back to us, perhaps in a period of 20 or 25 years, to become our chancellor at NMSU again. So that's an outstanding graduate from the College of Engineering. Now let me read our recognition of departmental outstanding seniors, starting with chemical and materials engineering. Karen Daniela Sanchez. She has participated in 3 research projects: uranium phytoremediation, NDMA, and nanostructures. ExxonMobil Chemical Company Engineering Student Co-op in 2019, and Engineering Student Intern 2019. Omega Chi Epsilon President and College of Engineering Ambassador 2016 to present for 4 years in a row. And if you want to know what ambassadors do, ambassadors are our representatives from the College of Engineering who try to put extra time to educate the public about what the college does. Now to the outstanding senior from the Department of Civil Engineering, Pascual Eduardo Camacho. He received a 2020 National GEM Fellowship sponsored by ExxonMobil. Is now for MS at Stanford University School of Engineering in Structural Engineering, Civil and Environmental Engineering Department, where, who knows, he too may continue to PhD and come back to us as a faculty member or an administrator. Founder, Veta Health Integrated Technology Solution to reduce prescription medication abuse. You might have observed him at the Aggie Shark Tank last year, who made a presentation in front of the sharks. He raised $100,000 at Aggie Shark Tank for startup of Vita Health. ExxonMobil Market Analyst Intern 2019, Cost and Schedule Engineer Co-op 2018. That's our outstanding senior for civil engineering. Our outstanding graduate, college graduate, and outstanding senior in the electrical computer engineering department was already recognized. It was Andrew James Phillips. Now to the engineering physics, Hoon Jong Kevin Lee. He's now graduating with BS in engineering physics and physics with a GPA of 3.96. Plans to attend Johns Hopkins University and pursue PhD in electrical engineering, studying solar cells. And we hope he will think about NMSU and maybe coming back to us as a faculty member soon after completing his PhD. Participated in several research projects, worked as research assistant in electrical engineering, student assistant in physics, intern Las Cruces Radio and ICT department. That's our outstanding senior from engineering physics. Now from engineering technology and surveying engineering department, Yamara Rios Lorenzana with a BS in civil engineering technology, project manager intern 2019, and cost estimator intern 2018, Emery, Sapp and Sons in Kansas City, Missouri. He was offered a job there, but unfortunately, due to this current coronavirus, it's been rescinded, but he now plans to pursue MS in Industrial Engineering to pursue greater opportunities than their job. He's a College of Engineering Dean's List. He's a Crimson Scholar. NMSU Aggies Without Limits Vice President, Outreach. And he's a member, Golden Key, ETSC Leadership Organization, Associated General Contractors of America, National Society of Collegiate Scholars. Congratulations to our outstanding senior from Engineering Technology and Surveying Engineering Department. Now from Industrial Engineering, Patricio Alvarez Tostado Rodriguez. He will go to Glanbia Nutritional's rotational graduate program, working every 6 months for 2 years in different engineering disciplines. I want to pause here to say that our engineering graduates, just as well as our alumni, are leaders cutting so many disciplines in so many different ways, which I think is the trend in engineering. And that's the reason why we are so confident that we are producing engineers who are going to be at the forefront of our engineering practicing profession. He plans to attend the graduate school for MBA after that. Is an Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineering chapter president, NMSU presidential ambassador, leader for engineering graduate programs for Mexican students. He led the international team in ergonomics and industrial design for Partners for the Advancement of Collaborative Engineering Education. He's a member of Engineers Council and recruiter for Industrial Engineering Department. In what I read from these outstanding seniors, you will already see that we have our students excelling not only in learning the materials, but also in service organizations. That's our outstanding senior from Industrial Engineering. Now from Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, Isabel Faith Fernandez, leaving with a BS in both Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, will attend graduate school, Georgia Tech, for MS in Aerospace Engineering, will intern at Los Alamos National Laboratory this summer, is leaving with 4.0 GPA, Dean's List since first semester. NMSU Conroy Scholar, Achievement Scholarship, among several others. Vice President, American Society of Mechanical Engineers, former Engineers Council President, involved in research since the spring 2018 involving design, fabrication, and testing of a flapping wing micro-air vehicle. Research already published and presented AIAA Aviation Forum Conference and submitted to the Experimental Mechanics Journal, just as our faculty members do. That's our outstanding senior from Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Now I want to recognize our Engineers Council President, who has worked closely with the leadership team in bringing together all the engineer chapters in our college. And she is Sarah Beth Fox, leaving with a BS in Chemical Engineering with a focus on computational engineering and chemistry. She's a Crimson Scholar, member of Omega Chi Epsilon Tau Beta Pi on the Engineering Dean's Honors List. She's a class representative and captain, NMSU chapter, American Institute of Chemical Engineers. She's a peer learning facilitator in the Eloy Torres Family Engineering Learning Communities. Interned 2019, Intel Corporation Meteorology Department. That's our Engineers Council President, Sarah Beth Fox. I know Sarah very well because we work closely when we are talking about funding needs for our engineering special events that we hold in the college. and she is truly a leader, and we can definitely expect to see more of her accomplishments as she proceeds forward. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we have a number of ambassadors that the college relies on to showcase our college, to make sure our college is well and accurately represented to our regional high schools and to New Mexico and to the larger community. We want to thank these ambassadors on behalf of all our student body, our faculty, our staff, our alumni, and our NMSU. These are, in no particular order, from Chemical and Materials Engineering, Jocelyn Mary Chavez. Again, from Chemical and Materials Engineering, Karen Daniela Sanchez. From Civil Engineering Technology, Yomara Rios Lorenzana. From Electrical and Computer Engineering, Kylan J. Wilson. From Industrial Engineering, Abdulhadi Gaid H. Al-Atik. From Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, Bridget Reagan Charette. From Mechanical Engineering, again, Robert Christopher Madrid. From Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, Adriana Merlin Sanders. If I could ask you all to pause and give a big round of applause to this very fine slate of outstanding seniors, please. All right, thank you. Now it's my honor to introduce our Ingeniero Eminente, Mr. Christopher Long. He's currently serving as Vice President of National Security Systems, Northrop Grumman Space Systems Sector. 24 years with Northrop Grumman and his heritage companies. He oversees profit and loss for all defense and intelligence programs with sales in excess of $700 million annually. He's a member of Leadership, Innovation, and Entrepreneur Program in Palo Alto, California, Theta Kappa Nu, the International Electrical and Computer Engineering Honor Society, Armed Forces Communications and Electronics Association, National Defense Industrial Association, Association of Old Crafts, and the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. He also has MBA in High Technology, W.P. Carey Business School, Arizona State University, and he got his BS and MS in Electrical Engineering from NMSU. And I personally want to thank him for his service as current chair on the Engineering Advisory Committee. He's a member of the Engineering Dean's Executive Council, and he's also a very generous supporter of the college. I want you all to welcome Mr. Christopher Long. Would you please take the podium, Christopher?
Yes, thank you, Dean. Certainly really appreciate this honor. I was thinking about over 25 years ago when I joined the Order of the Engineer, and the sense of accomplishment that I had, and I want to congratulate all of you all for what you have done. It's really amazing. Now the difference was I was sitting near a facility there at Corporate Center. You guys are in a much different time right now with COVID, and so things are going to be a little different. And certainly engineers are going to play a vital role in the future as we go forward. So I wanted to talk with you all about obligations. So what is an obligation? You know, you take the oath and the order of the obligation of the engineer. But so of course, an obligation is a course of action that someone is required to take, whether legal or moral. But obligations are constraints on your freedom. So I'm going to say that again. Obligations are constraints on your freedom. Obligations exist when there's a choice and it directs you the way that you have to behave. So obligations, the way I state it another way, is that they're a contract between an individual and what they are obligated to. So you all today and over the last 4, 5, 6 years, whatever that time frame might have been, have chosen very deliberately to be obligated to your profession as an engineer. It is a noble and honorable choice, but one that must be taken very seriously. You are, and why would it be taken seriously? And the answer is as Dr. Garcia talked about when he read the overview, people in society take this very seriously because they recognize the rigor and the amount of work that's been put in to become an engineer. You publicly declare that you are taking an obligation to society and those professions and hold those at the absolute highest standard. So you are now obligated to many things. You have lost some of your freedom, and I think that's a good thing, because for the rest of your life, you will be able to say that you're an Aggie engineer. So first of all, congratulations. So I want to talk about some obligations in detail. The first thing is you have an obligation to recognize what you have done. Now, we're going to talk later about thanking other people. But in the end, I want you to take time to think about what you've accomplished. You've worked hard, you've sacrificed. You've done things that very few people have done. There's not a lot of, you'll find when you get out into the world that a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to become an engineer. And I will tell you that we as a society continue to need more and more engineers, and so you all will have a very, very fruitful career going forward. Be proud of what you've done, and also recognize that what you have learned should produce a level of self-recognition that's extremely important going forward. But again, you've done this. You're the ones who stayed up late at night. I don't want to underemphasize the fact that this is a great accomplishment for you all. Now, you've had help, but I hope nobody else was taking your test. You still had to do that yourself. Number two, I want to recognize the help that you've gotten from others, your family, your friends, your teachers, all of those folks that have contributed to where you've become today. I also really want you to recognize something that's unique, I think, at New Mexico State University. And I've had the opportunity to work closely with the dean and with a lot of the department heads and a lot of the professors at New Mexico State. And I will tell you that if compared to a lot of the other institutions that I work with, this institution, New Mexico State University, is dedicated to teaching students to become great leaders and engineers and scientists in all of the different fields. They are really dedicated to teaching. And I see this on a regular basis when I visit the university and I sit in some of the courses and I talk with the professors. You have a unique education that you've received because you've actually had professors and teachers that are just very, very dedicated to their profession. So third, you have an obligation to what you have learned. You have to hold your principles. You're very well educated. Many people talk about helping others, but you all now have a set of skills that will actually allow you to help others. And I think that that's very important. Hold your principles, hold your philosophies, make good declarations, make good requests. We'll talk a little bit about some of the lessons that I've learned as an engineer over the last 25 years. But it really goes to make sure you understand the principles of being an engineer. Fourth, you have an obligation to live a good life and a productive life. You have an obligation to take what you've earned, the hard work. And what I would say there is take time to explore new things. Never stop learning. This is in this world going forward. You can't stop learning. And again, enjoy the hard work. Finally, in terms of obligation, and this is a big one, you have an obligation to take care of future generations and to help them obtain better learning. One of the things that I think is so important is as you either continue on at New Mexico State University or as you go to another university, A lot of people sometimes can forget where they come from, but I want you to make sure that you guys always stay focused on, this was your undergraduate degree, and it will always be your alma mater. And make sure that you come back and do what you can to get back, both in time, money, sending students, helping students. It's extremely important. And it's near and dear to my heart as being born and raised in New Mexico. I certainly want to see New Mexico State University continue to thrive. So some of the lessons learned, just in quickly, and then I'll hand it back over. But some of the lessons that I've learned in my career is your education that you got at New Mexico State University is as good as any place else. A lot of times people will come out and they'll think, well, I didn't go to Stanford or I didn't go to MIT. But I have a lot of people from MIT that work for me. And I have a lot of people from Stanford that work for me. And I know there's a lot of other Aggies that are in very high leadership roles that have the same thing. And we got there because we worked hard, but we also had a very good education. So don't ever think that you have anything less than anybody else when you go out into the field. The second thing I've learned is if you don't know the answer, it's completely fair to say I don't know, and you'll go get it. One of the things that I find a lot of times young engineers will do is they come out and the first thing they want to do is they don't want to admit that they don't know something. And I think the best lesson learned is admit it and then go say that you'll go work it later. Analyze. The other thing I've learned is if you treat business, or if you treat solving a problem at work, and I don't mean the engineering problems, I mean the people problems or the business case analysis, treat it just like you would breaking down a problem in engineering. A lot of times I think the reason engineers do so well is that they actually have that innate ability to just break a problem down. So you'll certainly will demonstrate to the leaders and the folks that you're working with that you're able to do that very, very well. One of the other things I've learned is to fail early and fail fast, learn and keep on moving. I will tell you that there's not a successful person out there that hasn't learned that lesson. And what I would say is that people who are afraid to fail, who are afraid to push themselves, don't succeed. So don't play in games that the reward is meaningless. Play in games where failure will be rewarded and will be recognized as pushing things forward. And finally, obligate yourself to people that you want to be coupled with. A-team players want to play with the A-team. B-team players want to play with the C-team and the D-team. Don't be afraid to play with the A-team players. And that sometimes means going up to those players and those people and those people in the profession, both in engineering or anything else that you do. Seek those folks out and then obligate yourself to them. Be a source of help for them. And then finally, if everything goes bad, remember you're an Aggie and you're not a local. And congratulations on a job well done.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. Thank you for that message. And I want to thank you again for your services on the Engineering Advisory Council. And that really sets a good example for our graduates. So I want to use that as an opportunity to impress on our graduates that we all hope here that you will be forever connected to NMSU in some shape or form. So I want to thank you, Chris, for your message. And that obligation, I think, is a very timely topic because we will now talk about the obligation of the engineer. And I invite Dr. David Jauregui, Department Head, Civil Engineering, to talk about the obligation of the engineer. David?
Thank you, Dean Reddi, and welcome to all the graduates this afternoon. I'm going to be leading this reading of the obligation of the engineer, And if you could please raise your right hand as you repeat after me. I pledge to give the utmost of performance, to participate in none but honest enterprise, to live and work according to the laws of man and the highest standards of professional conduct, to place surface before profit, the honor and standing of the profession before personal advantage, and the public welfare above all other consideration. In humility and with need for divine guidance, I make this pledge. Thank you very much, and I will now turn it back to Dean Reddi.
Okay, thank you, David. I want to pause for a moment to have a video played if you're ready. If not, we can continue and have that played at a different point in time.
By being a part of SASAT, I have been able to apply my systems engineering curriculum as well as expand my knowledge of orbital mechanics and attitude control systems and really push myself to try and solve problems that I didn't think I would even begin to attempt at this level.
I'm a doctoral student in Aerospace Engineering working on spacecraft precision formation flying for distributed component telescopes. I have been working with the NMSU Nanosat Lab since I was an undergraduate student, where I started working on the predecessor of the SASAT mission, INCA. I would like to thank Chris Long and the Northrop Grumman Corporation for their generous sponsorship, which has permitted this mission and the opportunities it brings to our students to exist.
I'm on the exoskeleton team where we're designing the outer structure for the satellite using CAD programs, and I just wanted to thank Northrop Grumman for funding the project and giving us valuable engineering experience.
I just wanted to take this time to kind of thank Northrop Grumman. Without Northrop, none of this would have been possible, and I wouldn't have had the chance to apply the knowledge and skills that I've learned here at NMSU to something I really care about.
Ever since I've been involved with SASAT, I've learned how to manage my team, my time, and how to apply the stuff I learned in the classroom to the real world. Ever since I've been a part of this team, I've been getting job offers at the spot from career fair.
It's helped me grow as a student to better manage my time with schoolwork and doing this project for the last year or so. It's just a great learning experience for everybody that wants to get like actual hands-on experience, let's say for a job or just in general to learn about space systems.
I was able to work with one other student, and we were able to collaborate and make this document and also do a presentation for our peers. This was a great project, and I've learned a lot about small-sat CubeSats, so thank you.
Along with doing systems engineering work, I also do research in ADAS and flight dynamics. I've used this program to work with graduate and undergraduate students of many fields of study and various backgrounds. Along with working with engineering professors, I would like to personally thank Chris Long and the Northrop Grumman Corporation for this opportunity.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, speaking about
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Speaking about the obligation of the engineer, we thought that that would be a fitting tribute to the support that Northrop Grumman provides and to your outstanding leadership and for the inspiration that you provided to our students. Now, this is no pressure on our graduates, but we certainly expect each and every graduate to be inspired from that and see how much we are obligated to the industries and the companies and the individuals such as you who really provide such a tremendous support to the College of Engineering. So we are forever grateful to all the support. And that's also an example for how we aim at industry partnerships to be an essential component of our learning environment. So we certainly want industries to be key partners because engineering is an applied profession and we believe in working very closely with industries together. So thank you for your inspiration. Thank you for your support. And thank you for all your contributions to the engineering in a number of different dimensions. So with that, now is the moment that you're all looking forward to in terms of recognizing individual graduates. And to begin that process, I want to invite Professor Kenny Stevens to introduce the department heads and announce the induction of graduates. We normally introduce our college leadership and department heads at the beginning, but we slightly changed the program today, and I request Professor Kenny Stevens to systematically go ahead with each department and announce the induction of graduates. Kenny?
Good afternoon. Welcome everyone to the College of Engineering graduation ceremony for spring 2020. Our first department is Chemical and Materials Engineering, Department Head David Rockstraw, who will introduce the department, and then we will read the graduates. Dr. Rockstraw.
Thanks, Kenny. Hello, graduates. In the blink of an eye, it's over. Your life is now changed. Your GPA is now meaningless. You hold an engineering degree just as the rest of your classmates. Everyone is again at the same starting line, holding the same credential. And the things you can accomplish with this new credential are truly without limit. This includes the potential to change for the better the lives of those around you. In addition to becoming an engineer, you have become a leader. Imagine what you can now accomplish in your community if you continue applying your leadership skills in local government, in your churches, with the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and through other civic activities. So while you're changing the world with amazing feats of engineering, I encourage you to apply your skills locally. Find a passion that helps others, pursue it like you did this degree. There is no better time than the present to begin. Tonight at 6 p.m., my wife and I will be at the Mesilla Valley Community of Hope, where we will serve food and offer other acts of kindness to the homeless and less fortunate. If you're so inclined, grab your favorite face mask and join us before your evening festivities begin. May God bless you and keep you safe while you begin the next leg of your journey.
Thank you, Dr. Rockstraw. And now for a reading of the graduates and inductees from Chemical and Materials Engineering. Daniel Q. Aguirre, Saud Al-Hatrushi Al-Uraimi, Fahad Al-Azemi, Alexandra R. Alvarez, Estrella Salisbury Aranda, Gustav Evan Barraza, Samuel Bynum, College of Engineering Ambassador Jocelyn Marie Chavez, Taylor L. Christensen, Zoe Marie Elliott, Lauren Natalia Evans, Erica Flores, Engineering Council President Sarah Fox, Homero Garcia, Craig Fires Jansen, Mahdi Jawaheri, Omar Kodari, Alex Chamley Nag, Esai Daniel Lopez, Phoenix Cassandra Lopez, Yifan Mao, Regina N. Marquez, Maria Guadalupe Marquez Garcia, Cesar Alberto Martinez Bejarano, Jessica Nicole McDowell, Amber Renee Maris, Stephanie Yamilex Miramontes, Alan A. Moya, Jose Guadalupe Munoz, Tom Nakotte, Anna Pamela Natera, Jackson Paul Nikolenko, Cristina Chauntel Onsures Pisana, Samuel Tate Rabin, Tristan David Ray, Felicia Heather Rodriguez, Department Outstanding Senior and College of Engineering Ambassador, Karen Daniela Sanchez, Tara Ashley Schumann, Samantha Faith Valentino, Armando Villanueva, Omar Guadalupe Villarreal. And these are your graduates from Chemical and Materials Engineering. And now we'll turn it over to Civil Engineering and Department Head David Jauregui, who will give a brief introduction as we start to read the graduates' names. Dr. Jauregui.
Thank you, Kenny. Good afternoon, civil engineering graduates, including Bachelor of Science, Master of Science, Master of Engineering, and PhD degree recipients. And congratulations on reaching this celebrated pinnacle in your education. I also congratulate the friends and family members in attendance today for the role you all played in supporting and encouraging our 2020 graduating class of NMSU civil engineers. Completing a civil engineering degree requires focus, perseverance, and hard work. And I'm sure our graduates would all agree that they could not have done it without you. The 2020 class will always have a special place in my heart, since the class was one of the first that entered when I started as department head in 2015. I've seen many of you grow from bright-eyed entering freshmen to seasoned graduating seniors to Master of Science, Master of Engineering, as well as PhD, starting at NMSU and finishing the 3 degrees. I know you're ready to face life's challenges and make a mark in your profession as entrepreneurs, researchers, designers, and the like. You have all demonstrated incredible resilience and adaptability during these unprecedented times of COVID, and I salute you all for finishing strong. I would have much preferred to be standing before you to congratulate you in person, but rest assured that the NMSU Department of Civil Engineering will always be your home. I also would like to thank the faculty and staff that helped during this transition in getting you through graduation. You all have truly redefined what it means to be an Aggie and have set a new standard of excellence for future generations of civil engineering graduates to aspire to. In closing, thank you for choosing NMSU for education. Please stay in touch and go Aggies.
Thank you, Dr. Jauregui. And now the graduates and inductees from the Department of Civil Engineering. Dali Aguilar, Jamie Alexander, Fernando Alvidrez Jr., Patricia Burunda, Tyus Kendrick Bowman, Departmental Outstanding Senior, Pascual Eduardo Camacho Legarreta, Paul Eric Chavez, Michael David Chidiak, Ildefonso Cisneros, Carrie Ashley Collins, Kyle James Flowers, Sabrina Galvan Ontiveros, Judith Maria Garcia, Filmon Gebreziaber Gebreyesus, Oscar Guerrero, Tori May Howells, Ivan Slavko Jelichik, Guan Yu Ma, Mark Patrick Manning, Priscilla Marquez, Uriel Alfredo Marquez, John J. Miyagishima, George Ortiz, Noah J. Pierce, Jesse Joe Porras, Hayden Allen Randall, Jacob Vasquez, Gilberto Alexis Vasquez Delgado, Yangjian Xiao, Peter Zelkowski. And those are your graduates from the Department of Civil Engineering. Congratulations. And now we move to the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, Department Head Stephen Stochaj.
Hello, 2020 graduates from the Klepp School of Electrical and Computer Engineering. You guys will forever be known as the first COVID-19 class, having survived the rigors of the EE program and the challenges of the pandemic. When you receive your diplomas tomorrow, you will join the ranks of electrical engineering and become a member of a profession whose has generated the innovation that has driven the economy since the dawn of the computers. As you begin your professional careers, remember, be bold and allow your contributions to shape the future. Good luck.
And now the graduates from Electrical and Computer Engineering. Al-Walid Khalid Al-Jazaidi, Dylan Jamie Bolter, Liliana Young-Suk Boyce, Carlos Jr. Borunda, Ivan Ali Cervantes, Jesus Correa Luna, Jose Antonio Covarrubias Jr., Andrew David Cummins, Rafael de la Torre III, Martín C. de la Cruz, Raksha Ramnik Gala, Luke S. Garcia, Mark Anthony Garcia, Eric Daniel Garden, Ahmad Gol Mohammadi, Charles Douglas Graham, Tyler Albert Hale, Jacob A. Hammond, Joshua Paul Olguin, Brian Leroy Holtzberry, Kiju Kim, Sergio Ivan Lara, Paul M. Ortiz, Ileana Marie Osorno, Departmental Outstanding Senior and College of Engineering Outstanding Senior, Andrew James Phillips, James Pleasant II, Hector Daniel Rico Aniles, Kelsey Ann Rosales, Andrew I. Rubacalba, Rodion Pavlovich Shishkov, Sasha Marie Smith, Connor Alexander Stringham, Po Chu Su, Susana Elisa Terrazas Hernandez, Luis Gerardo Varela, Duong Huang Bu, College of Engineering Ambassador Kylan J. Wilson, Jacob Michael Wilson, Zachary Wallace Winkler, Jordan Zuniga. And those are our graduates from Electrical and Computer Engineering. Congratulations. And now we move to Engineering Physics. Engineering Physics Professor Heinz Nakotte will give a brief introduction to the department, and then we will read the graduates. Dr. Nakotte.
Congratulations, engineering physics graduates. You really did it. The Princeton Review once said about engineering physics that it seems like a cool joke because it combines very difficult curricula from two of the more challenging college degrees, physics and engineering, into one, and thus making engineering physics one of the most difficult degrees. And you stood by it and you got through. Congratulations again. Several others have mentioned that these are challenging times with COVID-19 and the pandemic still raging. So there is certainly to be expected that the industry, the economy will try to adapt and make the workplace safe again for everybody. And you are prepared to be part of the solution. I'm sure about that because adaptability is one of the big educational objectives of our program. One word for the parents, family, relatives, and friends of our graduates. I know how you feel. My son was just called, having gotten a Ph.D. in chemical engineering at NMSU. So I'm very proud, and I'm sure you are too. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nakotte. And now the graduates from engineering physics. Alexander Marco Benavides, Ryan Christopher Lane, Departmental Outstanding Senior, Hun Jiong Lee, Joshua Daniel Morales, Juan Treto Jr. And those are your graduates from engineering physics. And now on to engineering, technology, and surveying engineering, introducing the department head, Dr. Ruinian Jiang, who will give a brief introduction to the department and words to the graduates, and then we will read the names. Dr. Jiang.
Thank you, Kenny. Hello, everyone. Today we come together to celebrate the great achievement of our graduates. The ETSE Class 2020, congratulations. Although we cannot shake your hands or give you a hug at this time, you can feel our excitement. I'd like to give special welcome and thanks to our family members, parents, spouse, brothers, and sisters. It's impossible for us to come to this point without your sustainable support. I'd like also thank our faculty and staff, including our adjunct professors and instructors. Thank you for your love and dedication to our students. I'd like to thank you, our graduates, for your years of hard working. And thank you for giving us so many nice memories. These memories will become sweeter with time. I think all our faculty are proud and telling stories to the new students coming. This is an important milestone in your career. It's not a finish, instead it's a beginning. Best wishes to all of you for a bright future. When the campus reopens, please come back to visit us. The ETSE and the College of Engineering will be your home forever. Thanks. Kenny, back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Jiang. And now the graduates from engineering technology and surveying engineering. Indira Yauvani Aguirre, Turki Almufarej, Oscar Angel, Eric Earl Arnold, Matthew I. Baca, Jason Ray Barnes, Lane T. Begay, Cole Stephan Bermudez, Crystal Carrera, Joseph Daniel Check, Alyssa Marie Covarrubia, Frances Marie Duran, Javon Ennis Ferguson, David Canyon Fillmore, Britton Grady Flemons, Abel Garcia, Jonathan D. Gilstrap Osque, Lucas Gray Corral, Raul Ricardo Guzman, Kaylin Jess Horn, Russell Jacob Lockwood, Brissa Aaron Lopez, William Matthew Lucero, Mario Lugo Jr., Brandon Lund, Martin Gerardo Martinez, Dylan Robert McCartan, Matthew Scott McMullen, Gustavo Miramontes Jr., Caricia Munoz, Thomas Wade Myers, David Allen Nicholas, Samantha Ortega, Adrian Robert Ramirez, Perla R. Ramirez, Associated General Contractors President Garrett Dwayne Reed, Aaron Rios, Department Outstanding Senior and College of Engineering Ambassador Yomara Rios Laurenzana, Jesus Manuel Rodriguez, Uriel Rosales, Samuel Joseph Smith III, Oscar Talamantes, Luis Tovar Jr., Cesar Treviso, Robert A. Watkins, David Joseph Wofford. And those are your graduates from Engineering Technology and Surveying and Engineering. Congratulations. And now we will move to the Department of Industrial Engineering. Department Head Hansuk Sohn will give a brief introduction to the department and words to the graduates, and then we will read the names. Dr. Sohn.
Thank you, Professor Kenny Stevens. Hello, graduates. On behalf of Industrial Engineering Department faculty and staff, I'd like to congratulate on your graduation. We are so proud of the countless hours of study and hard work that you've put into achieving this great milestone. It's been a long, hard road, but you accomplished your goal and you survived. Now you have made one dream come true. I wish that all the other dreams you have in your life will come visibly like it has this special day. I'd also like to give special thanks to the parents, spouses, children, and friends of our graduates for their patience, sacrifices, and support during these challenging but rewarding years. I'd also like to thank to our department faculties and staffs for their dedication to our students' success. Congratulations again to the graduates of our Industrial Engineering program, and best wishes for your next adventure. Thank you very much.
And now the graduates from Industrial Engineering. In College of Engineering Ambassador, Abdul Hadi Gaid Al-Atik, Turki Al-Anasi, Abdullah Al-Asemi, Abdul Rahman Al-Asemi, Mohammed Al-Asemi, Salman Al-Asemi, Abdullah Al-Bohaidi, Mohammed Salem Aidwain, Mohammed Al-Merashid, Musaid Al-Mutairi, Saud Naif Al-Utaibi, Abdullah Al-Shamari, Ahmad Al-Tuwaini, Departmental Outstanding Senior, Patricio Alvarez, Ezel Ray Clark, Brian John Duga, Robert Brian Froberg, Shay Alistair Gregory, Menaka Herath Mudiyarselaj, Sultan Maher Kayat, Cesar Ivan Madrid, Jose Felipe Martinez, Stephen Anthony Meyer, Catherine Lee Miller, Paul Eric Morales, Thomas James Nicholas, Natalia Ocampo, Andrew Ziskin, and those are your graduates from the Department of Industrial Engineering. Congratulations. And now to the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Department Head, Dr. J. Frankle, will introduce the department, give some words to the graduates, and then we will move on to the names. Dr. Frankle.
Thank you, Kenny. Welcome graduating seniors and graduate students and their families and friends. At this moment in time, it's about you and your accomplishments and your abilities for completing a rigorous set of tasks in order to stand before us. Your families and friends share and savor this moment with you. They feel the pride and sweat of your efforts in achieving this milestone, and they acknowledge your hard work in reaching this day. You will remain connected to the Aggie traditions of dedication, hard work, integrity, and the pursuit of discovery and knowledge. Many lifelong friends have been made during your time at the university. This includes fellow students and faculty and staff. The faculty and staff wish you good health, happiness, and a safe journey to your next stop, whether it be industry or national labs or graduate studies or other pursuits. Work hard and enjoy being adventurous. Travel when possible for continuing your life journey. Finally, please remember the Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering Department at New Mexico State University. This department in the College of Engineering will grow, and we wish you to remain involved and watchful of our efforts. Stay in contact with us, and congratulations, go Aggies. Back to you, Kenny.
Thank you, Dr. Frankle. And now the graduates from the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Rakan Al-Shamari, Abdullah Al-Sowagye, Timothy Robert Alvis, Tyler Harrison Alvis, Gregory Anthony Arthur, Fidel Baez Avila, Jacob Lamar Barnett, Brian Barraza Holguin, Adam Joseph Buma, Jeremy Justice Bergaman, Adan Campos, Dakota Victor Cano Linson, Andrew Elizardo Caraballo, Valeria Saori Carrillo Carrasco, Ethan Robert Concha, highest honors graduate from the College of Engineering, Dominic Anthony Cordova, Kylie Brianne Cox, Darby Davis, Nicholas Aban de Lobato, Adrian J. Enriquez, Juan Enriquez III, Juan Alberto Enriquez III, Carlos Miguel Estrada, Nathan Estrada, Departmental Outstanding Senior, Isabel Faith Fernandez, Javier Orlando Figueroa, Kyla Maria Flores, Stephen Figueroa, Caleb Michael Führer, Virginia Fuentes, Andres Galvan, Jared Austin Garay, Walter Gonzalez, Juan Carlos Guerra, Elizabeth Matea Hall, Christopher James Harlow, Kevin Gabriel Hidalgo, John Mark Hill, Isaac Oliver Kasim, Luke Allen King, Joseph William Ledger, Kevin Lennox Jr., Alvin Javier Lerma, College of Engineering Ambassador Robert Christopher Madrid, Valentin Isaiah Martinez, Mario Alberto Martinez Olivas, Camila Mergil, Blake Alexander Miller, Maria Esther Moreno, Alexa Mortensen, Alexander C. Mullison, Omar Alberto Nájere Calderón, Alberto Orduño, Isaac J. Ortiz, Jesse B. Ortiz, longest serving College of Engineering Senator to NMSU and Aggies Without Limits President Jonathan Ortiz, Anthony Joseph Pellegrino, Simon Pereira III, Renee Blancart, Ryan Gabriel Quintana, Jacob Reyes, Rachel I. Rodriguez, Edward Francisco Rojas, Christopher Ryan Romero, Robert Joshua Romero, Dylan James Rotman, College of Engineering Ambassador Adriana Merlene Sanders, Troy Allen Schlehauser, Samuel Owen Schoenholtz, Manuel Serrano, College of Engineering Ambassador Bridget Reagan Scherer, Sean Ryan Shalito, Gilbert Chigala III, Jose Eduardo Silva, Jesus Roberto Terán Martinez, Auburn T. Toclany, Juan Manuel Villa Martinez, David Eduardo Villarreal González, Joel Alejandro Viescas, Jason Keith Wilson, Widad Yosri. Those are our graduates from the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Congratulations, graduates. That's all of our graduates from the College of Engineering. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Kenny. I want to once again congratulate all the graduates, and by way of a few closing remarks, I hope you all remember that tomorrow we have another online campus-wide ceremony, and I suppose you will have an opportunity, if you wish, to have it to participate in hopefully a live physical face-to-face kind of ceremony down the road at some point in time, perhaps fall semester. I want to before we close, I want to remind you that we have a very active social media for the College of Engineering. And I want you to follow us, like us, and follow our messages on Facebook or Twitter, because sometimes we have a blog, college blog. We put some important messages, as important to alumni as they are to the students still on campus. And at some point in time, I hope you will come back wherever you go to and wherever your chosen professions take you to. I hope you'll come back as our distinguished speaker came back to us today. And I hope you will stay engaged in whatever shape or form that would be allowed by your career and by your personal situations and your geographic location. And talking about coming back, I hope you will all consider that we have other opportunities, such as perhaps taking a master's degree. A master's degree that does not take as many credit hours, require as many credit hours as an undergraduate degree does. Usually takes about 3 to 4, if not 5 semesters of study. And those of you who have completed undergraduate program here, wanting to go to graduate programs, may be eligible for some scholarships in some programs, depending on the program that you're interested in going to master's. A master's degree is becoming the first professional degree for accreditation purposes, for licensing purposes, for the purposes of promotion in your chosen agencies of employment. So do consider that. If you need some help, talk to any of us. A couple of things that came to my mind as we do this program. Our speaker touched upon it, and one of our department heads touched upon it. We want you to be bold, and that is our message, being bold. And what that really means is, regardless of what the socioeconomic situation looks like, we hope you will consider failure as a learning opportunity. And our speaker touched upon that. So our president of NMSU always emphasizes being bold and being kind to one another. So I hope you'll be bold, and I hope you will shape your own future by being bold. I hope you'll be risk-taking, and I hope you will not be afraid to fail and get back up and continue on your path, on your chosen path, on your dreams. And we are here, and we will be here to receive you anytime you would come, just as a family would receive you, because you're now a member of an NMSU family of engineers. With that, I wish you luck. This program has come to an end, and we all look forward to seeing you, perhaps if not tomorrow, seeing you physically face to face at some point in time. Thank you all, and thank you the families and supporters for participating in this, and thank you the leadership team for spending your time here, and thank you our distinguished speaker, Chris Long, for taking your time off a busy schedule to be here, talk to our graduates. Thank you all, and go Aggies.